Hello, my name is Shannon Anthony, and my topic this evening is reference interviews at a public library. I'm going to give you a little background on the library system. The library system is made up of 37 libraries. This includes one central library and 36 branch libraries. The fiscal year 2015 proposed budget for the collection is $2,108,322. This is projected to be $500,000 less than the fiscal year 2014 budget. The collection budget is for all 37 libraries. Library X is a small neighborhood library in San Diego. It is centrally located. The community is culturally and economically diverse. Patrons range from teenagers to senior citizens. There are more renters than there are homeowners, and the income ranges from low to middle class. X is limited with staff. They have one full-time librarian, one half-time youth services librarian. The youth services librarian position is full-time, but they split their time between two different branch libraries. One library assistant, one full-time library clerk, and two half-time library clerks, and several library aides. Full-time staff works Monday through Fridays. Weekend staff consists of half-time and substitute staff. The reference desk is hardly ever used or staffed. Makes it kind of an afterthought. It seems like it's an afterthought. Librarian, since there's only one, we'll just call them the librarian, is a substitute librarian, works at Library X on weekends, has been with the library system for over a decade. So they have a lot of knowledge of the library system and the Library X. First interaction that I'm going to talk about was a college student in his late 20s, early 20s, looking for books on deforestation. He wasn't very clear on what he needed, and he almost seemed annoyed when the librarian started to ask questions. The librarian showed him where the books for that subject were located. Since this is a small branch, the collection is limited, and there were very few books, if any, on his subject. The librarian then proceeded to show him how to access the online databases to search for additional articles or journals on the subject. They also informed the patron that these databases could be accessed at home and showed them how to use it that way as well. The patron was indifferent and didn't seem happy with the results. The librarian did a great job trying to help the patron. Through the reference interview process, the librarian was able to narrow down the search and locate the items that the patron might need. The librarian also showed the patron where to find the subject in the collection, as well as using online databases. Patrons seemed disappointed and annoyed with the librarian. I was under the impression that the patron expected the librarian to know all of the answers and to do all the research for him, that he didn't have to really participate in the whole process. He wasn't sure what he needed, which made it impossible for the librarian to know that as well. The librarian handled the situation both pleasantly and professionally, even when the patron was rude. Interaction is a patron looking for information on wills. The librarian showed the patron where the books on wills were held, and a few minutes later the patron returned to the desk as they were not able to find what they were looking for. The librarian then began doing the reference interview, asking more questions and trying to narrow down the search. Finally, the patron showed the librarian what form they were looking for. Once the librarian had the form, they were able to find it right away. The patron was very appreciative. Again, the librarian did a great job trying to help the patron. Through the reference interview process, the librarian was able to find out exactly what the patron was looking for and help them find it. The patron was also very appreciative, and they didn't know where else to go to find this information. This was not a tough reference question, but it took time to find as the patron wasn't sure what to ask for. Once they showed the librarian the form, it was easy to get that information. This is what makes the reference interview so important. In conclusion, even though many libraries may be evolving to accommodate the internet, library users still rely on person-to-person contact to help them find the information they are looking for, which could include doing the internet chats and over the phone, as well as person-to-person. The reference interview process helps librarians get to the root of the question. Our textbook states that a good interview is a conversation between the librarian and user that identifies and clarifies what the user is looking for. This assignment showed me how this process works firsthand, and it does work, and I look forward to using it in the future. Thank you.